Tom Newman, 225 Garden Street. I'm a member of the Observer Highway Redevelopment Advisory Committee. I'm also a tenant at Newman Leather and was appointed to the Advisory Committee by the mayor some 2 years ago. This all started in a stormy meeting one stormy night up in the high school. Most of you were there, not all of you. Wallace School, sorry. And what had happened was that the idea of selling the garage came up, and somebody got the idea, well, let's just rezone the whole zone, 14 stories, Newman Leather included. And it raised quite a storm amongst the neighbors down there, me included, because I was in Newman Leather. And out of all of that angst, tumult, and turmoil, the advisory committee was formed in the mayor's wisdom and with the unanimous vote of the city council. And here we are, stuck with us, these cranky neighbors. And I honestly think when you stand back and look at this, you may not believe it, but it has worked in a very odd way. And I know there's some skeptics here. We were given the charge at the time, right, to get the city $25 million for this site. And the idea was to get a project that would be about 250 units, get about 100,000 a unit. That would add up to $25 million, and that was the charge. And that was what the committee was supposed to do. And the idea was the committee was going to try to shape the lump of clay, the density that this would require, into something that the neighbors could live with. So we're going to have citizen input on how this shaped, but the basic idea was we want to get $25 million. It may take 250 units to do this, and that was the idea. And the committee set to work, and I think delivered. We worked with the planners and came up with a plan, the famous 9-7 plan, which you could fit 250 units in, and presented it to the city. And so I think that goal we delivered on at that time. The second goal in all of this was to have the sale of this property be something that the city of Hoboken could be proud of. That this was going to avoid all the troubles, the accusations, the suspicions, the political turmoil that surrounded the city doing business on development. There's a troublesome relationship between developers and politicians, not only in Hoboken, but in a lot of places. Hoboken has control over its land uses. That's the basic principle in the state of New Jersey and a lot of states. And therefore, having this control means that the decision makers have power in relation to developers in particular, who are the people. It's where the money is in the municipality. And we wanted to have a procedure here to dispose of a city property where we could all hold our heads up. And the committee was firm from the beginning. Look, we should be an open public process. It's got to be a clean, clear, unchallengeable process. And we went out for with an RFP on a public process. There were problems with that RFP. There was a 3-week response term. You think the city garage is unclear what's going to happen now. You should have seen it a year and a half ago. It was even less clear, right? The environmental study had not been completed. Even so, we got a bid which, when you add it all up, was around $23 million. And it was a conforming bid to the plan that the committee had come up with. There was a debate at the council, and it was rejected because it wasn't enough. It didn't meet, and we felt that, I think a lot of people felt that we could have done better if we'd done the process better. So it went back to the drawing boards, There were attempts then to change the number of units, to change the amount of density, to change the amount of money that the city was hoping to get. In the meantime, the city had borrowed money on what it anticipated getting. The budget was looking bad. And the committee insisted, look, you made a deal with the neighbors, and you should stick to it. You should honor your agreement. What you should do, what you say you're going to do. You get credibility and you get respect when you do that. When you do what you say you're going to do, you earn credibility and respect. And credibility and respect is worth a few $1,000,000, in my opinion. Now you're at a situation where we've gone out for bid again. I would have to say in the interim, in a sour market, we got 2 bids, and believe me, I sighed a big sigh of relief when we did get these bids. One of them, well, in the meantime, there was concern that the city was going to actually get $25 million, and there was an agreement with the committee to have a safety valve where a developer could add density in order to get up to the minimum threshold $25 million. $25 million adjusted for inflation to $25.5. This was a safety valve to be sure that the city met its financial goal. But it only met the financial goal adding density. It could not add dollars and density. In other words, you couldn't come in with a big project at a bigger number, right? So this was a safety valve. We got 2 bids, and I think that, I sighed a sigh of relief. So in that sense, the process has worked, and they're in front of you now. There is legal challenges being brought forward to the conforming bid, and believe me, I don't speak for the whole committee. Lane could do a better job of that. We would love to have the conforming bid be the one that is accepted. But honestly speaking for myself, it's your decision, and I'm glad I don't have to make it. You have to listen to your lawyers and decide what's the best course for the city, which of these 2 bids you should take. But let me say that you should take one of these 2 bids. Don't take some other pie-in-the-sky bid, which did not meet the requirement of that didn't follow the agreement. The agreement is if you add density, you don't add price. Somebody can jump up. You can have an auction, $10, $15, bang, sold. Then somebody jumps up in the back and wants, I'll give you 20 and blah, blah, blah. And it's blah, blah, blah. Change the deal. That's not the way to do business. You're going to be selling your credibility and your integrity. If you do that and you're going to put the city and you think the city gets behind the 8 ball in deals that it does, that will really put you behind the 8 ball. If you want to do this again ever and you screw up on this one, I think you're really putting the city in a bad position. Thank you for your time. I know I've talked too much.